Good morning. It must be Tuesday because it is time for Business by Design Online's Success Tips from the Top. This month, our whole topic is all around networking. And oh my gosh, has networking changed? Maybe you don't even know how to network. Maybe you've been networking in person and you just don't feel comfortable on Zoom. There's a lot to talk about when it comes to networking. And my guest today is a pro at networking. She has been the managing director at eWomen Network for 4 years. She is the, the top one for last year. And I forgot what it's called, but let me introduce you to our guest today. This is Diana Sabatino. She is in California. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing with us today, because this is a topic we all need to spend time on, right? If you're a business owner, you better know how to talk to people about your business.
Definitely. Well, thank you for having me today, Katie.
Well, I'm so glad you could join us today, because what we've done with Business by Design Online is we have a whole series of courses, and we're continuing to develop more courses, online courses that are short, quick, easy, that help you pick and choose little things you can do and immediately take action. We have accountability in there so that it's not a big, long course where it's going to take you 6 months to start seeing growth. We want you to pick and choose what you need right now so you can see success in your business today. Mm-hmm. And our topic for the month is networking, because we felt like anyone who's starting a business or who has a business, networking is key. And some of us network in different ways. And there are now, especially, we've gotten pretty good at networking in different ways. What would you say when it comes to the topic of networking? What is your top tip that you could share with our audience?
Wow, top tip. I think when you're looking at networking, first of all, I truly believe our success is directly attached to the relationships that we build, right? If we're showing up when we're networking, we need to show up with the mindset to serve. We're not looking for an immediate return for that conversation, right? We should be coming in with the mindset to serve, to build a relationship, to do something for someone else without any expectation, whether that's to connect them with an introduction or give them an idea or just share a little bit of your time. Initially, that should be your intention, is to build the relationship. Your intention initially shouldn't be to sell them when you're networking.
You know, I think that's so true, because I've had my business for many, many years. And I have been networking since I was 20 in business as a cruise line, working for a cruise line, and then in direct sales.
Right.
So many times you go into a meeting room full of people and it's, hi, how are you? Here's my card. Hi, how are you? Here's my card. And it's just like, oh my gosh. And you would come home with stacks of business cards and you have no idea who they were, what they were, because everybody wanted to sell you something. And then they follow up and they're like, here's my course, here's my this. And you're just like, holy cow, let's network to build a relationship. I love that. Serving others. What can you gift to them when you meet them, right? How can you serve someone else? I love that.
Well, I always say that it's not about the collection. It's about the connection. Right. So It's not about collecting cards. It's not about collecting names. It's not whoever gets the most introductions wins. Right. It's truly about making some sort of connection and mutually agreeing that there's a reason to continue a conversation with them.
Oh, my gosh. I know. That's so good. So tell us a little bit about your business and then how you got started in networking and why you became the managing director, because that's a big job. And that is the key for connecting people right there.
100%. Well, my resume is pretty long because I'm pretty old. So I have over 40 years of experience, came from corporate, went through the sales, became a VP of training and sales development in corporate. And that started my training career, where I was really helping people getting more sales more often, helping managers better manage their teams. And that laid the foundation for me starting a consulting business. I was overseas in Ireland for 3 years with companies over there doing consulting. And then when I came back to the States, got married, and I was traveling quite a bit. My husband said, you got to come up with something different. So I opened my own brick and mortar fine jewelry store. That's a long background story, but I always loved diamonds and I had my gemology degree. So I went ahead and did that for 13 years. And, you know, what I find is every job, every position, every business that I started, everything was built on the relationships. When I had my jewelry company, I got introduced to eWomen Network by one of my clients and went there to see what it was all about. And when I walked in, the first thing I noticed that was different, it wasn't the traditional network of business cards. It was a little bit more intentional type networking, and I loved it. And that allowed me to become a member. And then over time, I became the managing director. And when I got introduced to being the managing director, I got introduced to more of the people in the network, and I really got to understand what their needs were. And I thought, wow, with all my training background and everything, I could really help them. And that reintroduced me back to my training roots.
I love that because it's connecting and it's serving other people. And that's really the key of the whole idea behind networking. It's not just like here, get your name out there. It's like, let's talk about how we can serve other people and
100%.
What connecting people.
Well, networking isn't. Yeah, I always think of networking as it's not a business skill, right? Networking is a life skill. It's a communication skill. It's a people skill, right? It's not just for business. It's if you don't know how to build relationships, you need to learn how to build relationships for the quality of your life as well as the quality of your business.
Well, and what I have found is networking comes in many places, not a typical, doesn't have to be a formal event, but it's like when I worked in the cruise business, I was meeting people all the time and having to do happy hours, right? I mean, that's the old way of doing things. And it's hard. You don't know how to talk to people. You know, you have to learn some skills. So it is, I love that you say it's a life skill because anyone in any, it doesn't matter your business, you really need to take the time to learn how to communicate with people in person and online now, because there are different ways of doing business and networking, right?
100%. Well, I think too, it's if you look at any of our businesses, we all are in the exact same business and we all sell the exact same product. We all are in the business. We're on the people business, right? We all have to interact with people and we all provide the same product, which is transformation. We're taking people from where they are at to where they want to be, whether you're working with them on their finances or their beauty or their sales, or you're a coach, or you have a particular product, or you're a realtor and you're putting them into a house. You're taking them from where they're at to where they want to be. So we all sell exactly the same thing, and we all sell to the same people.
Well, yeah. I mean, that's we're selling to another person. Yes, and I think the more clear you are or comfortable you are in networking, whatever form that looks like, that is a way for people to connect with you and decide they're not buying your business, they're buying you. So, how are you going to put yourself out there?
100%.
I love that.
100%.
So what tips do you have for our audience today that can help with networking? Because networking has changed a lot too. So you were managing director when it was in person. And I love the format of eWomen because, you're at roundtables, you each have time to talk about what you want to talk about. And there's also an educational part to it. So it's one of my favorite types of networking. So share a little bit about what you enjoy about networking too.
Well, I think twofold. I think everybody recently, this last year, we all had to change the way that we were doing our business. And part of that is how we're connecting with our clients, how we're finding our clients, how we're continuing those same kind of conversations. Are you getting feedback on your end?
You're a little glitchy every once in a while, but
Okay. I'm wondering if it.
okay, you're still there though. Oh, now I can't hear you.
Okay.
There.
All right, let's try that again.
Okay.
Okay. I think, we all had the opportunity that we had to make changes to the way that we were doing our business. It wasn't a choice. We still had to serve our clients. You still had to make the connections. You still had to find your audiences. You still had the people that you were serving are still expecting you to deliver in the exact same way that they paid for, right? So how were we going to do that? And we had to jump in and we had to shift. And like for eWomen, it was taking all those live events, those live networking events, and putting it online. And it does change the way that we're communicating with our audience and our clients and how we're networking. But it really is just the methodology. It's just the vehicle, the information or the way that you share with other people is still the same. You have to really come in and take a look first. I would say for networking to your group is take a look at take inventory. Take a look at who's in your community. How are you how have you networked in the past? And what does that community capital look like? That community revenue that you have already? Who are your cheerleaders in there? Who are the people that are your champions? Who are the people that challenge you and mentor you and who coaches you, right? Yeah. You should have a really diverse group of people within your network that help support you, because as an entrepreneur, I think one of our hardest things is that we spend so much time alone, right? And we're making a lot of decisions, and a lot of those decisions are being made in isolation.
Yes. One-sided, right? Totally one-sided.
Yeah. We need to make sure that we have the community capital that is diverse enough that can help support us, not just only in our sales and in our business, but can support us in the resources and tools that we need to build our businesses.
Right. I love that. Yes.
So number one, I would say take inventory and also have a plan. Like right now we have a great opportunity with Zoom when we're going into all these meetings or Be Live or Facebook is you can start to see who is in attendance, right?
Yeah.
Who you're networking with. Now the goal is, and I'm sure you've all had it where you go to a networking thing and the next thing you know, you're getting all these things of, I have something, for you. I can help you with your business. I can help you with your website. I can help you with your marketing, right? That all of a sudden, all this stuff is coming at you. So think about how you feel when you get that. And make sure that when you're on these meetings, that as you're looking at who's there, go and look at their Facebook, find out what they're talking about, take a look at their Instagram, find out what they're doing, who they serve, so that you're going in with information to say, hey, Katie, I would love to chat with you. I know, you have been in Synogen's business for X amount of time. And, right now, women are online. We're still having to present and we want to look our very best. So I think it's a great opportunity. I would love to chat with you of, what you're doing and how I can support you, right? That's a different conversation than saying, join my sales program so I can help you get more clients.
Right. Oh, so true. And you can tell, and it's not always, I'm sure, like just their goal. It's that people just don't understand the power of connecting as opposed to just like you said, collecting. And they're out there to sell themselves rather than taking time. I love that. Take time to really, who are you connecting with? Who is in that room with you, whether it's online or in person?
And it's great because you can look now, like you can see who's attending. Like sometimes when I'm going to a networking event, I'll see who's attending. Like I see who's, I'm coming, right? So beforehand, I will go and look at your Facebook page. I will go, I'm not friending you. I'm not going in and just,
you can friend me. It's okay.
People. Like you're not going in and stalking people. So I want to make that really clear. You're going in and the goal purpose is to find out, are they someone that I can help with my product and service? Are they someone that I could provide an introduction to? Are they someone that I could give a resource to? Or do I have someone in my tribe that might need this person's services, right? So I can start to get a feel for them. So when I'm coming at them, I'm not coming at them with what they can do for me. I'm coming at them with, I think I can introduce you to someone. I think that I love what you're doing with X, Y, and Z, and I'd love for you to meet my community, right? You're bringing them value without asking for anything. The goal is to give twice before you ask. Give, ask, right?
Yes.
Make sure that you are going in with some information. My first question to you shouldn't be, so tell me about your business. Okay. You should, if I'm having a conversation with you, I should already know a little bit about you and your business. And that's why we're having the conversation, because I have something to provide.
I love that so much. And I know in some cases it's not as easy to gather their information ahead of time.
Yes.
Sometimes it doesn't work, but a lot of times it does. And especially if you're on a regular, say, monthly type of an event, you start to see the same people showing up, like you said, who is showing up, and then start to do your research just to be able to understand a little more and go into it with a gift as opposed to, cold.
100%. Well, before, when we were live, when we were not live, we're still live. And when we were in person, I used to always, if I went to a networking event, I would see who's coming and I would have my plan of action. So I would go in, and before I got a glass of wine or ate anything or did anything else, I would walk in and I specifically already knew that there were 3 to 5 people that I wanted to connect with because I had something of value to give them, right? So now I didn't go over and say, hey, I checked you all out and I know everything. I went over as introducing myself for the first time, asking them a question, and then saying, oh, so you deal with these types of clients, or so you're giving. It's not about the telling. It's not about you presenting. It's about the asking. What are you asking these people? How are you guiding them through a process to get them to see that there's a mutual reason for the two of you to continue a conversation?
Yes, I love that. I love that. And that's, for someone who's starting business now, like this year's first time they've ever gone out and thought of networking, it's online, really. There's very few events, depending on where you live, that are actually taking place in person right now. So if somebody was starting out, and I teach my team about this as well. So it's like, where do I even go to network? How do you find the right groups? Do you have suggestions on things like that, or on where someone might start? Because it is different. You can't just go into a room and check it out and say, this feels like my people or not. You got to do your homework, right?
Yeah, you got to do a little bit of homework. And I think, 2 things. First of all, take a look at who, if you're just starting your business, what made you start the business? So do you know others in that same field? Do you have, even if they're in different states, they don't have to be where you're at, to ask, what's working for them? Where are they finding the best results? But I think a lot of it, as far as where to go to network, that's going to really, you've got to kind of go and feel for your tribe. I truly believe you've got to feel comfortable with the experience that you're having. There's tons of things out there. I know meetups are really successful, but also to think about a lot of things, just because they're free doesn't mean that you should go to them. Okay. Because the other part is, as you're starting your new business, you want to do networking, you want to do your sales, you want to put everything in order, but you don't want to be doing things that just because they're free.
Right.
Take a look at a couple paid opportunities where you can go and pay a small fee to attend. Think about it. The people that are willing to invest to be there also will invest in you. They have the money to invest in your products and services. If they're just looking for free, 90% of the time, they're not going to be in a position, or they may not be the ideal person for you to sell your services to, right? If they don't have money to do the event, they probably don't have money allocated to do other things in their business. As a business owner, the first key thing is, before you start your business, go sell something. Okay. See if somebody wants what you have. Number one. Number two, I think really take a look at and have a budget. And initially it's going to be small, but have a budget to do those things, to attend a networking event, to invest in a program, to do that. Have some money there. And don't jump into the first thing, but most events, most women's groups and everything allow you to come for free at least one time. If you talk to the directors, somebody will help you and say, come, experience us. And then if we're right, then we want you to join the community. But find that, if nothing else, find that community. Whether it's e-women, whether it's BNI, whether it's a chamber, whatever the group, find the group, Business by Design, whatever the group is for you, find that group that is going to be supporting, because we all need to have those communities around it. None of us do it by ourselves. Every successful business out there has been built on collaboration. Okay. Nobody did it alone. So
I think that's so important, because especially as an entrepreneur, and we were talking about this briefly, you are doing this alone. You are alone. You're making your decisions alone. When you can collaborate with other businesses, whether they're the same, similar, or totally the opposite, but just to throw ideas, bounce ideas off people, that comes from networking. That comes from that conversation that you have when you get to know people. And you don't have to just seek your ideal client. You're there to learn as well. You're there to grow. And I think the more you can collaborate and really share those ideas, which is how Business by Design Online started. We met at networking. We knew we had great ideas to share and help, and we served each other over a year before we started the business, just in, okay, here's some ideas, try this. Why don't you try this? Or this is what's working here. When you can create those relationships that I felt came from networking first, and that'll continue to grow. And like you said, you're finding people who are your supporters, who are your cheerleaders. Once you can establish those relationships, that's going to help you growing your business as well. But you're there to serve other people. And when they realize you have a lot of value to offer, then that's going to help in turn grow your business as well.
And I think too, and I love that. I think too, and kind of tagging onto that, when you are looking for networking groups, look for ones that have educational components to them, not just a meet and greet, not just a social hour, right? You don't have time as an entrepreneur to just, our time is so valuable. Right? You want to make sure that wherever you are going, that you're getting the most value. You're making the most connections. You're getting some education. You're having the opportunity to brainstorm or share ideas, that there is, you're walking away with more than just a room full of people socializing. Right.
And that can be important, right? If you're there and you're an entrepreneur and you're just like, oh my gosh, I need a night out. I need to go talk to people.
Right.
And by all means, find yourself a little happy hour, evening social type group, and know that's what it is. You'll still make great connections.
100%.
Right. But when that was something I had to take toll. I was networking a lot. This is before shutdown. I was networking a lot. I felt over networked. Like I was going to so many meetings and I just didn't have time to actually put in place what I was learning, what I needed to grow my business. And so I had to really take a look. And that was one of the things. What is my return on investment? What,
100%.
It's not all about me, but you're it's your business, right? So
when you're first starting.
So yeah, just taking a look at where was I gaining knowledge? Mm-hmm. Where was a room of people that I felt comfortable in? Some people are introverts, some are extroverts, right? So that's another thing to consider. Where do you feel comfortable?
And well, I think with the Zoom, the benefit of the Zoom meetings, there's a detriment and a benefit. I think for those that are quiet, it kind of continues that isolation in some ways, but it also allows, and I think a lot of times introverts are the best networkers and the best salespeople because they tend to ask better questions and spend more time finding about the other person because they're not as aggressive in just presenting. Yeah. So sometimes it actually works in your favor. But I think too, it's also taking the time, like I said, of being intentional of when you're on there, what's the best use of that time? How are you best serving yourself and your business while you're there? And as we said, just because you can doesn't mean you should go to everything. And I think that's an issue right now too with the Zoom because we are at home. We don't have to get in the car and drive anywhere. I don't have to get all dressed up. I can do my face and put on a cute top and I'm good to go. Right.
Yeah, ready, bottom half.
Yeah. And right after I can go do something in my home. I don't have to go to the next thing. And sometimes we're starting to add on. We're kind of like layering all these jobs for ourselves where our day, I know my husband said to me a couple weeks ago, I went into my office at like 6 a.m. for my first Zoom that was from New York to it was like 9:30 at night. And I hadn't left my office other than like a few like coffee runs and bathroom breaks and things like that. And he popped his head and he was like, are you ever coming out? Like, and I think sometimes, plan it out, make sure you're planning your schedule and you're giving yourself those necessary breaks because sometimes I think we can overstimulate ourselves.
Yeah, because it's easy. It's like, I'll just throw it out. I'll join this. That's very true. That Zoom fatigue thing, but it's also very valuable. What I love about Zoom is with some of my networking, I'm able to network with people all over. Like you're in California, you're not part of my immediate circle. I get to network with people from all over the world, and that I love. There's even like Clubhouse now is another networking where you're talking. Yes. You don't even have to put on your makeup. You're just talking. So there's a lot of ways you can do networking. And what I would probably throw in there is you're establishing a connection, you're meeting people, and then take it personal, take it off of that and really connect offline. Like if you're in a Zoom, a lot of people connect in the chat rooms and then take that conversation off so that you can connect outside of that once a month meeting.
100%. 100%. That's the goal. You're not going to have your best networking or your best conversation in the room or online. You want to definitely continue that conversation. And I think that's the key too, is you have the connection, decide who you want to connect with, kind of have a plan of action of where you want to go, what you're looking for, and what also you can provide to others. And then what's that conversation? How am I going to approach this person in the most, putting myself in the most favorable light that I'm here to serve as well, that I'm showing up in the right manner. And then what's that conversation that you're having with them to get them to now, take an action, to set up that Zoom call with you or set up that coffee date, and we're doing, virtual coffees or whatever, or social, have a glass of wine and have a conversation. But what are you doing to get to know people, and how you can connect, collaborate, really serve one another. And through that, you're going to find the people that are your clients.
Yes.
And you are going to find the people that are going to be the ones that are going to be referring you out to everybody. They love you. They love what you do. They may never buy your product and service. And you know what? You don't care.
Yeah.
I always tell people, don't worry about selling the service to me. It doesn't matter whether I ever buy your product or service. You want everybody I know to buy your product and service. Okay. So you want to connect with people that have those communities, those tribes, those businesses that whether they ever buy from you or not doesn't really matter, but you want them to know you well enough to know your core values, who you are as a business person, that you're going to take care of their clients just like they would take care of their clients. And if you do that successfully and build a relationship, those referrals will just come. So you'll find your client, you'll find your referrals, and then you also find your mentors at these places. You're going to find people that have been where you're at, that have, gone through the struggles, that have gone through those pitfalls. And now they're going to be there to help mentor you. They're going to become a resource for you that can help you move your business forward easier and faster. So don't just go in with one thought process. Networking is much bigger than just connecting to sell your product.
I love that. That is such a great way to end this, because that's really the key right there is it's more than just selling your product. I
100%.
love it. That is so key. And that's probably why. Now, what is the title you have at eWomen? Because
I am, I'm the executive managing director for the Orange County chapter. And of course, anyone that would love to come, just reach out to me. I would love to have you come join us. You can join as my guest. I will invite you as a guest. And I am the reigning managing director of the year. And as I was telling Katie earlier, I am the longest reigning managing director of the year, because normally they put in a new managing director every year, but because of COVID, our conference that would have been in August of last year didn't occur, and it'll be this coming year. So yeah, so I get to hold the title. Yeah, I feel very special.
I love it. Well, I can tell why you're managing director of the year, because you are very open, and I'm sure the atmosphere of your meetings is a lot of fun and very welcoming. So thank you so much for sharing your tips with us today on Business by Design Online. We hope we get a chance to connect again. You never know, since we're on Zoom, we can connect all over the place. So I love what you do, and I really appreciate you coming on and sharing with us today.
No problem. And then you can offer them the free gift as well. So
I put that in the reminder. I will post it in the comments again here, because that's awesome. Can you tell us what the gift is?
Okay, so the free gift is just 5 strategies to successful networking. So I've just listed them all out for you, what those 5 strategies are, and that's my gift to you. So just go ahead and she'll send you a link to do that, and we'll download that to you. So
that's so awesome. I love it. Thank you for sharing with us today. I hope you have a fabulous week.
You too.
All your networking and continuing your reign of being managing director.
Yes, and I would love to connect with you as well, Katie, moving forward. So let's get a time where we can chat and find out how we can support one another.
I love it. That is awesome. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.